Hey everyone, this is Michael with a general reading for Sagittarius Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for November 2019. Hello and welcome, whether you're watching this video for yourself or for another person. Special thanks to all of you who have continued to support this channel with your likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. It's because of all of you we recently had our 25,000 subscriber giveaway, which was amazing. It was won by Emily. She got a free 60-minute reading with me, so congratulations to her. In the meantime, we've actually managed to jump up to 30,000 subscribers, which is huge in just like a few weeks, which is absolutely crazy. So there's probably going to be another giveaway soon for those of you who missed out on that first one. If you haven't already, definitely hit subscribe. And also follow me on my social media so you don't miss out on giveaways as well as deals, blog posts, Instagram posts where I have pick a card and general card readings, lots of good stuff. So I have all of those links down below, as well as links for personal readings, Reiki sessions, and donations for those of you who feel so called. I do also just want to do a quick disclaimer that I am going to be very limited with my schedule this month. So if you want to get a reading with me, I would definitely advise doing that sooner rather than later. I might actually be taking some time off as well. I might take down the readings. I will still keep up the urgency readings for those of you who want an expedited reading. But otherwise, I will probably be down just for like a week or two. I'm actually participating in National Novel Writing Month as well, so I'm going to be focusing a lot of my time on writing. If any of you are participating, I actually have my link in the blog post, or my link for my profile in the description box down below if you want to be my writing buddy. That way we can encourage each other and motivate each other. I'll admit that I haven't been updating my word count and I am currently a little behind, so I'm going to be playing catch up later. But yeah. Before we actually go into the reading, I do just want to let you all know that I actually like to start them off with a astrological report, as well as kind of just an energetic report. And I know that not everyone is interested in the astrology. I personally find that the stars and the cards often align very, very nicely and complement each other very well for this reading. I will be referencing it throughout the reading too, but if you want kind of more of just the overall energy of the month, I'd stick around. Otherwise, you can look in the description box down below for a timestamp that jumps straight ahead to the actual reading. I know that this month is kind of an interesting month. We obviously have Mercury retrograde. I feel like most of you who follow this channel know what a Mercury retrograde is, or if you're kind of in the tarot community at all, it's basically when Mercury appears like it's going backwards, and it can cause delays in communication, travel. It can kind of just make things run amok and slow things down. A lot of the time people talk about this, tarot readers, astrologers, and they make it seem like this really big bad thing. It's not the end of the world. I'm just telling you that it's rainy outside and you might want to wear a coat. Personally, I actually think that Mercury retrograde is working in our favor. It's showing us the areas of our life that are no longer in alignment or that need attunement or refining before we can continue forward. A lot of the time, if you're having like car troubles, maybe it's like, where are you going in your life? Maybe you're feeling a little stuck. Maybe that time, that pause you get as you're waiting for someone to come get your car, maybe that's time for you to kind of think about what am I doing? What am I putting my time towards? And it really is just a time of pause. I feel like the whole month of November, it's going to be a very introverted month. It's going to be kind of a quiet, maybe even a little intense. We are in the Scorpio season. And especially with the Mercury retrograde, as well as just a couple of other things going on, I feel like instead of that spunky side of Scorpio, which we sometimes see with that maybe a little sting, I almost feel like we're getting more into that introverted, hermit, withdrawn side of Scorpio, and we're really taking things very seriously. Emotions are running pretty high and low, hot and cold. So you may find that your emotions are more intense than usual. That's pretty normal. And I don't think it's all bad, though. This month of November, it's actually, there's a lot of powerful potential for transformation and becoming aware of the ways we self-sabotage. I think that's actually a big, big theme for this month, especially with Neptune going direct at the end of the month. We've had Neptune retrograde for several months now, I believe since April. I know a lot of planets went retrograde in April, and when Neptune goes retrograde, it actually allows us to see things very clearly. Sometimes when it first goes retrograde, there's sort of an oh shit moment, a truth bomb, a big revelation that shakes things up in a big way, and then we kind of deal with it throughout the retrograde cycle. We are more likely to realize ways that we might have been tricked in the past, either by ourselves or other people. And as we are approaching this Neptune direct, we are kind of going back into that foggy energy. We're going back into kind of the dream-like state we were in before. And it's kind of like a 6-month deal. Neptune is retrograde like 6 months of the year, 5 or 6 months, give or take. And so it's like half of the year we're in Neptune direct, half the year we're in Neptune retrograde. So it might not seem like a big deal, but it's usually around the time it stations. So it's around the time it goes direct, or around the time that it goes retrograde, when we really feel those effects. And with Neptune going direct in the sign of Pisces, I actually feel like there's a strong possibility for relapsing or defaulting on old behaviors that no longer serve us, especially if you have kind of given those things up. During Neptune direct, it's kind of like testing you. Are you going to actually learn this lesson? Are you going to take this clarity that you had seriously? Or are you just going to go back to the same old, the familiar? And the choice really is up to us. Excuse me, is up to us. We do have several actually beneficial trines with Neptune and Pisces. So we have lots of opportunity to kind of review what we've been learning, to gain insight, to have, to rely on our intuition and see things very clearly. I also feel like when when Mercury goes direct, let's try that again. I also feel like when Mercury goes retrograde in a water sign like Scorpio, it does increase intuition and psychic abilities, but we might not understand what we are receiving right away. It might take some time. And it's kind of like the logical mind, the left brain might kind of slow down, and the creative, inventive, intuitive right brain increases. So really the whole Mercury cycle, I think it's about just letting go of control, being flexible, not getting too attached to specific dates or times, really kind of getting into that divine feminine sort of energy, which is really stressful because we live in the society we live in just is not conducive to natural cycles or rhythms of any kind. So we kind of just have to do the best we can. And my advice for that, for those of you who are, running a very strict schedule, who can't really who can't afford to like not sign contracts or enter new commitments or anything like that. We still have to live our lives, unfortunately. Just stay open. Just don't expect everything to go smoothly, or I don't expect things to go wrong either, but don't expect things to just be, it's about letting go of control and trust. I really believe that's what it's all about. And I'm a Virgo, so I'm totally ruled by Mercury, and so are you, Gemini. I honestly have felt like in the past, Mercury retrograde would just ruin my life. And when I just allowed Mercury to do its thing, I was like, okay, this is just what we're doing for this month. My life has gotten so much easier. So really, I do think it's just a good time to let go. And I feel like Gemini, you're actually kind of able to do that. Even though we are ruled by Mercury, us Virgos and you Gemini, we do have the ability to let things go and to just be open. We're both mutable signs. And Mercury is just always changing. We're just changing with it. So it is a good time to finish things, and I do feel like we are going to be thinking a lot about the future. Again, we might not be executing these plans right away, or it might not be the best time to do that. Maybe towards the end of November or even a bit further out. But I just feel like we're trying to figure out where we're going collectively. We're figuring out where we've been, how that's not served us, and what we can do differently in the future. And it's a very profound and powerful time to transform. So I really hope that you take that to heart and you really sit with this energy and allow it to work its magic. We do have, obviously, Sagittarius season towards the end of the month, which is your opposite sign. So for you, Gemini, there's also going to be a lot of emphasis on your relationships. You might have changes in your relationships, specifically partnerships. Could be romantic, could also be business partners. Anything where you're really sharing yourself with another person in a close way. It's not so much friendships, although it could be close friends for some of you. But it's really just changes in those areas. There might be changes in relationship status for some of you. Could also just be changes in the way that you look at relationships, changes in the way you present in relationships, or maybe what you're looking for. Maybe that's starting to change or refine or evolve. We do actually have Venus in your opposite sign right now in Sagittarius. Again, big love, focus energy. Some of you may actually be attracting someone new, someone who's kind of not your usual type, someone who can broaden or expand your horizons. I actually do feel like Venus and Sagittarius is kind of a weird combination because Sagittarius wants freedom, it wants to explore and is very independent. And Venus is the goddess of love, pleasure, wealth. She, when those two are together, I almost feel like it's actually a good time of letting go of old beliefs or old people, starting anew, getting yourself back out there. And maybe that's what a lot of you are going to be finding you're doing for this month. Or just exposing yourself to new ideas, thinking about things in a different way. And I think that's pretty much everything. Although I do want to say really quickly, for those of you who are trying to manifest partnerships or heal relationships you're currently in, November 24th, I believe, is the Sagittarius new moon, which is actually a good time for you to manifest that sort of stuff. Because again, your opposite sign, it's your 7th house, it's your relationships, especially if you are a Gemini rising. Excuse me. I apologize, my voice is a little raspy. I've been talking for a while now, and I'm still kind of getting over some plague that I was dealing with last month. Excuse me. Okay. So I think that's actually pretty much it for the astrology report. Again, November is just kind of a reflective month, a time to slow down. Things might be a little bit intense, although I feel like there's going to be, especially around that cusp of Scorpio to Sagittarius, it's like the death and transformation of Scorpio coming into this rebirth, this new adventure, rising from the ashes with Sagittarius season. So I do think November is going to be kind of an interesting month, especially, with that Neptune direct. It's important that we've kind of really taken in those lessons. Otherwise, it'll blow up in our face inevitably down the road again later. Sorry. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I do have an astrology blog for those of you who are really interested in learning more about the transits and what each individual specific aspect or transit means. I have like a brief description of that. Again, description box down below. I am going to start shuffling now. Please keep in mind that these are general readings, meaning not all of the messages that come forward are going to be meant for you specifically. It is up to your own intuition and discernment to figure out what messages apply to yourself and what should be left behind for someone else. If these messages do not resonate, or you'd just like greater clarity, you are welcome to look at the other general readings for your moon, rising, or Venus sign. If you don't know what those are, I do have a natal chart calculator in the description box down below that can help you figure all of that out. And I do also have Heart of the Matter love readings. I do those mid-month, but they are timeless readings. So if you're looking specifically for love and relationship advice, I would peek through those. You could either just look at the most recent one, or you could kind of see if there's something that pops out at you there. Let's see. We are looking at the energy coming in to November for this first row here. What you've kind of been dealing with either in October or further back. And do keep in mind, because this is a general reading, especially during Mercury retrograde, time can be a little wonky. For some of you, this might actually be energy you're still currently dealing with. For some of you, it might actually come in for November. This is kind of just the flow of events for you. Interesting. I do have the Hermit. The Ace of Pentacles, the High Priestess, and the Four of Pentacles all together here. And then the Three of Pentacles. A lot of material, earth stuff here. We have lots of pentacles. And with the Hermit, some of you could be dealing with a Virgo. I could definitely be seeing that. Maybe working with one. But I really feel like this is more... It's almost like you've kind of gone quiet, Gemini. Coming into November, you're a little introverted. You're definitely feeling that. And that's kind of unusual for you. I mean, it's not that all Geminis are these super big extroverts. Obviously, there's so much to someone's natal chart. And I feel like Gemini, you actually oscillate between introvert and extrovert. I think you have a reputation for being one of the most gregarious signs in the zodiac, and you totally are. And you are also the most introverted sign of the zodiac. You will go back and forth. Like, when you want people, you want people. When you don't want to be around people, you are so not feeling it. Like, that's just kind of the way your energy works. And to see this Hermit, I do feel like you've kind of just been a little withdrawn. And again, all of this emphasis, all of these pentacles here, I feel like you might be working on something. And it actually feels like you're trying to, you know, start something off here. It seems like you're actually doing a very good job at that. Whatever it is you're working on, it seems like there's a lot of potential here. But you're still feeling unsure about it with this High Priestess card. You're still a little skeptical. I do feel like this is obviously general, so it's only going to apply for very few of you. I'm getting kind of this thread, though, that some of you might be dealing with a Virgo, or maybe another earth sign, someone from work, or business. It feels like a business thing, and there's some sort of deception going on about finances. That's kind of interesting. That's really specific. Again, it's not going to apply to everyone, but I feel like someone is lying or not telling the truth, or just not giving you all the answers financially here, or about their financial situation. Interesting. There may actually be someone who, if this is a person you're working with, they could possibly be trying to hold back some of the wealth from you. If this is like a business partnership. Just something to keep in mind. And I feel like you kind of know something is up there with the High Priestess. You'll know if that's the case. For the majority of you, what I really feel like this is you are working on something. I do feel like there's a lot of potential here. You're still not very sure about it. And this Four of Pentacles, again, showing up in your heart, you are actually holding back. You're kind of guarding your emotions a little bit here as well, which is very interesting. I do see with the Three of Pentacles here, there is this emphasis on working together. But what's interesting is like it's only being talked about. I almost get this sense that with this Hermit energy, you're kind of just left doing what you can in this situation. Could be work, could also be a relationship too. You know, you're talking about working together, you're thinking about how you can work together, but when it really comes to the day-to-day, what's actually happening, we have the Hermit. Really interesting. I'm curious to see what the animal wisdom is here. God, sorry. I really think it's just me talking too much. I don't even think it's me dealing with the sickness. I've honestly felt much, much better. Thanks again to all of you who sent me healing wishes. I think I really just need to do like voice training or something, so I stop straining my voice from all of the talking I do. What is the animal wisdom for Gemini? Also, throat stuff actually comes up a lot during Mercury retrograde. Like losing your voice, having a cracky voice or raspy voice, that can be a really common thing. Especially this time of year. What is the animal wisdom for Gemini? There we go. Cobra and fish. I almost feel like this fish energy is kind of around you. It's like this circling around you, kind of aimless energy. I do feel like it is important for you to go with the flow, though, a little more. Which is weird. This doesn't feel like a Gemini reading. You're not feeling like yourself. I will say that to all of you. And with this Cobra energy here, there is kind of this pausing, this waiting. Timing is definitely a factor in whatever situation you're dealing with. Romance or business, probably both, really. You're just waiting for the right time to strike. Or that's what you're being advised to do. You know, go with this flow, move with it, and feel out when it's time to take action here. I do feel like it's important for you to meditate. Some of you may also be coming into new spiritual insights as well. You may be learning. There may be a new teacher or just new concepts that have come in that are really... I almost feel like you are putting them into practice, Gemini, because we have the Hermit. We have the Three of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles. I feel like you're really grounded, actually. And it seems like the people around you aren't. Which, again, is kind of ironic, because this is the Gemini reading. Usually you're the idea people. Usually you're the one who starts things and get things going. But I almost feel like you're the only one doing work. Interesting. We are now going to look at the first half of November for you, Gemini. This could be what is coming in. Again, could be a little later for some of you. I just like to think of this row as what energy is being introduced in November. But again, specifically that first half. Show us clearly. Interesting. Some of you have a decision you need to make. Maybe that's why you've been so quiet. What else? What else? Show us clearly. I'm gonna take all of these. Okay. Oh, it wasn't so many. Okay. Gemini, we have the World and the Lovers. This is your energy. The Eight of Swords. And the Devil and the Ten of Pentacles. Okay. I think you know something's over. With the World and the Lovers here. And there's like this choice you need to make. And it could be a hard choice to make because I do feel like emotions are still there. There's still that emotional connection or that sentimentality. I actually do feel like this is primarily talking about work, actually, which is interesting. This seems to be a very work-heavy reading. And I know I was talking about relationships a lot for the astrology, and I'm sure that's coming up for some of you, but honestly, for this first part of November, it really does feel like you're being kind of forced to choose what you love. And there's some sort of closure for a lot of you with the World. I feel like this isn't an easy decision for you to make. I feel like you've kind of just been to yourself, reflecting, pensive. Maybe things will change. Maybe I just need to wait it out. That was kind of the energy with the animals too, just a moment ago, kind of feeling, waiting out. And I think you know that by now, for those of you who are resonating with this, it's like you're going to realize in the first half of November, this isn't changing. This isn't serving you. And this is why I really think this is a work situation for a lot of you, or even a family situation. With the devil, it's kind of like this patriarchal energy. And the 10 of Pentacles, it is also patriarchal. And I know that word has like a very negative connotation, especially with something like the devil, right? But I'm saying this very broadly. So familial, particularly the father side. It's like you've been trying to do what's best, but this other party isn't meeting you halfway. And you're feeling really stuck with this 8 of Swords. Like, you need to make a choice. You know you need to, like, end something here. And it's really hard for you. And it might be, if this is a romantic relationship, I think part of this actually is just practicality. It's like you might be living together. It might be a marriage for some of you. There could even be some infidelity. I do hate to say I actually could see that. I don't normally go into third-party situations, especially in these general readings. And I'm kind of just saying that for those of you who already know. I'm not trying to put an idea in your head to plant a seed. That's why I'm kind of apprehensive of ever mentioning that. But it's like something's kind of become corrupted there. And for those of you who are in this relationship, it's like money might be a thing. There might be some form of, I even want to say financial abuse, actually. You know, you might be financially dependent on this person for a few of you. And you're just feeling stuck. You don't know what to do. You're doing all you can and it doesn't seem like anything is changing. And now you're kind of getting to this breaking point where it's like, okay, I need to choose. Do I follow my heart? Or do I kind of try and stick through this a little longer? And honestly, Gemini, I feel like you've already been thinking a lot. You've already been you've been holding back. And obviously, I don't even know. I don't know your specific situation. That's the thing. This is a general reading. For some of you, it may not be the right time to leave. For others of you, I would tell you to get the hell out of there. If you can leave, I think you should. But it seems like some of you really feel like you can't. And there might very well be a good reason for that. But the change that really needs to take place here is also mental. With the 8 of Swords. You have transformed. You've been in this chrysalis for a while. You've been going through this transformation. You might feel isolated. You were afraid to move because it felt like that you would get stabbed or hurt any direction you went. But you can fly away from this now. You just have to spread your wings. You haven't realized it. And that might look different for each of you. It might look like starting to reach out to other people, finding support in other places. It might just mean leaving a situation outright. Again, general reading. It's going to be different for all of you. It just doesn't feel fair. And it doesn't feel like you've been yourself, honestly, for a while. I am getting some strong Capricorn energy here too. And just fixed energy with the world. It could be Scorpio, Leo, Taurus, or Aquarius. Wow. Wow, Gemini. I'm sorry. This feels heavy. I'm honest in my readings. I'm gonna, if it stays this heavy, we are gonna do a color healing card for you at the end, so don't click away, don't run away. But the energy I'm feeling here, it's not the usual Gemini energy. Something's going down. And you know something needs to end. What is the animal wisdom for my Gemini? Lizard. You are very sensitive. A lot of Gemini actually are very intuitive. They doubt it because they have that mercurial aspect. As a Virgo, I can kind of relate. We doubt our intuition, both of us, because we're so logical. Something has to make sense. And you are very intuitive as this lizard. I think more than most people realize, you're also very sensitive to the environment around you. And you pick up on a lot of energy. I do feel like, if nothing else, get a weekend away from whatever this is. Lizard does kind of talk about getting out of the city, getting out of a really active, if you're in like a really busy, fast-paced environment, go to a place where you can slow down. Especially spending time in nature can be really, really healing, like a day at least. Someone's playing mind games and you know it. For some of you, I keep getting this. Like, it sounds crazy. It's like you hear their thoughts, you know what they're thinking, but they're just talking to you like business as usual. But you know what's going on. You're not crazy. Like, you know. Let's see. I really want to see where all of this is going for you, Gemini. Let's see if we're turning this around or if we're going to need to do some intervention here. Okay. Okay. What else? What else? Cool. Okay. We have the Seven of Wands, the Son of Swords, and I was talking about love. We have the Two of Cups. Okay. I was saying in the astrology report, this Sagittarius season, it really is a big time for love for you. Could be talking about a transformation, though. And you know, I am seeing with this, with the Seven of Wands here, you're standing in your own power. I feel like you're standing up to a situation or a person. That strength isn't going to come from somewhere else. Either because other people aren't going to understand why you're taking this stance. They might resist you. They might blame you. It's going to take a lot of inner strength from you, Gemini, but I do feel like you're standing up. And there are others. For those of you where this is relevant, there are others who are going to follow suit. You are leading the way for them. But you can't necessarily rely on these people right now. Son of Swords. This is actually your card specifically, Gemini, but it could also be Libra or Aquarius energy. I definitely see that there is this willingness to move, this willingness to take action towards the end of November, maybe even a little further out. Could be December or later for some of you, but this is just where it's all going. There is a move happening. There is a change. You are charging in. There's almost like this confrontational energy I'm getting, and someone's getting hurt too. I do feel like someone is going to get their feelings hurt. I almost feel like it's the other person, Gemini. I'm going to be honest, because I think you've kind of been hurting already. And you've tried to, you've not wanted, you really have not wanted to like do this. It's almost like you're taking the action you really didn't want to take, but you've just become so fed up that you have to. It's like you have no choice left. And with this Two of Cups, this is going to mean different things for this group. For one part of you, it could also technically be both. For one part of you, though, there is a group of you where this is a love offer. This is someone new coming in. They might be helping you, actually, in some sort of situation. Could be an air sign. But really what I'm actually seeing here is that I think for the second group of you, and I feel like this is actually kind of the collective at large that I'm feeling, you're having an honest and authentic communication here. People are coming clean. Might not be easy. Again, I do feel like people are getting hurt. Some things are being said that need to be said, though. And it takes a lot of strength to be vulnerable and to be open and honest. And it's like, again, you know, we have kind of like this disparity between like the mind and like what's being talked about and like what actually is taking place. It's like, yes, there needs to be vulnerability, there needs to be open communication, but then it's fighting, it's ego stuff, it's standing your ground. And I'm not saying you're wrong to do that, Gemini. I actually think you've been trying to delay this. I almost feel like the advice is that you won't be able to delay it forever, so prepare for this. And Virgo kind of had a similar reading too, now that I think about it. I do feel like for some of you who are leaving a relationship, there could be someone actually coming in very soon. Again, don't know if it's a long-term thing. I'm going to be honest with you, especially with Sagittarius season, it can kind of be flings. But sometimes it's those, you know, those transitional people who can really help us move forward in our lives. And I'm not saying to just jump into a relationship to get over something, but I do think there actually can be a benefit to it sometimes. If you're being wise and understanding where you're at and honest with where you're at. Okay, this is probably only a few of you. I almost feel like some of you are leaving a situation to be with somebody else. I was kind of getting that third party energy for some of you. Interesting. So we have the buffalo and the bee. Standing your ground, being firm and grounded, again, with this buffalo energy. Buffalo is a very grounded spiritual presence. You can kind of tell from the art here, there's this lightning in the background, and buffalo is just unfazed by whatever is going on and just keeps walking forward, keeps this steady forward momentum. Even though there is kind of this fight sort of energy, I don't feel like it's this aggressive thing. You're being honest. You're communicating with this person. If they feel attacked or hurt by you, honestly, it's almost on them. Although I do see a lot of fight energy in you. I feel like you're still trying your best to be fair. And with this bee, again, a little sting. Some of you really do need to get away from this situation, even just temporarily. because B talks about being overworked, overburdened, and kind of needing to take a break from time to time. Indulge in the sweetness that you've created for yourself. Also transmutation, healing. But I feel like you're healing yourself, Gemini. I don't necessarily feel like there's healing coming into a situation. There could be for some of you in a relationship, but it feels more like there's a fight here and you're healing yourself from a fight. I am going to pull a color healing card for you. We're going to whip out these. I'm going to read these straight from the book, but you are welcome to use this energy in whatever way resonates. You can just visualize it, kind of working with it around you. I have personally been doing like an art therapy exercise with these that have been really fun, kind of drawing out scenes and writing out the affirmations. So maybe that's something that speaks to you too. But I am going to offer you the meditation that the book gives. Oh, too many. And these are big cards, so they're kind of tricky to shuffle. 1 second. What is the color frequency for Gemini? What color can bring healing to Gemini at this time? What color can bring healing to Gemini at this time? I feel like there's one more. I had 2 fall out, so we have 3. I'll take them. We have coral. Allow flow and synchronicity into your life. Mauve. Enjoy clear healing. And violet. Create a balanced life. Oh my god, we're gonna go overtime. I think this is the longest reading I've ever done. You're welcome. Okay, coral. Allow flow and synchronicity into your life. Coral restores physical vitality with its grounding properties, releasing stress, worry, and anxiety. See things from different points of view with coral and heal a broken heart and unrequited love. Coral also helps bring synchronicity and flow into your life. Yeah, it could be a third-party thing. Visualize crossing a coral bridge to bring more synchronicity and ease into your life. Imagine coral rays shining out of your heart, allowing more flow and synchronicity into your life. See or sense yourself stepping onto a coral road that leads you onto the right path. In this vibration, things happen easily in synchronistic ways. Say, my life is easy and full of synchronicity. I follow the most divine path for me. Anytime you have to make a new decision and need some extra help, visualize stepping on the coral path. This is definitely really helpful energy for those of you who are feeling stuck, like you can't go forward. I would really do this coral bridge exercise. I actually really like this for this reading. Especially if you are kind of moving on from like a hard relationship, which I feel like a lot of you are. We have violet. which is create a balanced life. That is 45. Violet represents your nervous system and heals insomnia, mental disorders, physical illness, and injuries affecting the eyes and the brain. It is especially helpful with treating epilepsy, balancing energy, and reprogramming cells. Violet also activates intuition, opens creativity, and increases psychic senses to release karma and regain freedom from past issues. Create balance and receive blessings from the Violet gift box. Balance is an important part of life. It is the recognition that every challenge contains a blessing and every blessing contains a challenge. With it, we embrace the whole of life. Focus on any area in your life that seems out of balance. If you could learn something from it, what would it be? Close your eyes and imagine a violet gift box floating toward you. When it comes closer, unwrap it and receive the gift into your heart. Allow a violet ray of light to penetrate your body, relaxing and energizing it as you let go of any fear, stress, or worry and bring back balance. Say, Divine Intelligence, please allow me to create a balanced and harmonious life full of blessings and joy. Let's see, mauve. One more. Enjoy clear healing. Mauve, a pale lavender lilac color, connects to intuition, awakening your inspiration, expanding your spiritual awareness, and helping you to let go of heavy, dense energies. Mauve also creates a sense of peace and tranquility to assist with eye and ear problems and improve your memory and ability to concentrate. It is a color of softness, gentleness, and allowance. Use mauve rays to release stuckness from your ears. Focus your attention on the ears. Do they feel clear or blocked? Ask yourself, is there anything I don't want to hear? Your ears are intelligent and they may try to block out information you're avoiding. The next time you are around someone who is saying something hurtful or upsetting to you, imagine mauve rays moving through your left ear to push out anything dense or unclear out through your right ear and into a fire that dissipates the negativity. Do the same thing with your right ear, then surround yourself with loving and encouraging people. Say, Divine Intelligence, please allow me to listen and apply my divine wisdom. Okay, use this technique, this visualization, when you are in this conflict. When you're having the talk. If they say something that's hurtful for you, transmute that shit. With the Violet card, I actually really want you to kind of do this process on the Sagittarius new moon especially, because that is a strong time to manifest, and it's actually a good time for you to manifest relationships that actually feel good. Don't focus so much on who or what. Focus on how you want to feel, how you want the relationship to look. Like, what are the dynamics you have? What things do you do for each other? And manifest those. And I feel like that will bring a lot of healing for you and just open your heart back up if your heart is feeling closed and guarded. I do feel like, though, with this mauve, I was just kind of getting this hint again of like that telepathy, that clairaudience. You are hearing something. Really listen to what a person is saying. Really read between the lines. Someone is trying to be kind of tricky with you, maybe gaslighting you a little bit, or manipulating you and making you think like something's all in your head. Some of you might not actually be hearing that, but I actually feel like a lot of you are, you're aware. You know what's going on. You know what's going on in that person's head. And really listen. Your clairs are pretty strong here. You know, clairvoyance, clairaudience. You could be getting some messages too. Interesting. I do hope that this reading was helpful for you, Gemini. Make sure to hit like and subscribe. Let me know in the comment section how this resonated for you, if these color cards were helpful. Again, I do have links for personal readings and Reiki sessions in the description box down below for those of you who want some more personal assistance. I will probably be taking some time off, or at least my schedule is going to be very limited, so do that fast if you are interested in either of those. Otherwise, I will see you all next month. Bye, Gemini. Good luck and take care.